Alright, what's up, guys? This gonna be the last video I do talking to this guy. I just think that this guy has some mental issues, and honestly, trying to have well, I ain't gonna say it's a conversation, but I guess acknowledging people like this, I really don't gain nothing from it. But I guess it's more so for somebody in the future where it's like if you're dealing with something similar, this is how you handle situations like this. You really got to get a person thinking. But I feel like that because this person is at a young age, they're not really thinking all that well. So it'll probably be like what 5-10 years from now I'll end up getting an apology from this guy like, hey, you talked about me in some videos back when I was a kid, and I just wanted to apologize because yeah, I was saying some weird things about you and things. So but this ain't so for those that don't know, this is pretty much a sequel to another video that I have uploaded. And yeah, it was of the guy that was for those that didn't get a chance to see that video, it was of this guy saying that I was going around bullying and sexually harassing people. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know how you came up with a claim like that. Like the bullying stuff, like, yeah, I get like there are people that this person is a fan of where I'm like, I can understand why you would say I'm bullying them. I'm more so having fun with their situation. That's how I'm looking at it. But for those that don't know, yeah, this is a just a robot fan. And it's the thing is this, like, I'm not like, I guess what is the words that I'm trying to find? More so I'm familiar with people like this guy where they allow themselves to get so upset, they hold on to this anger in them for all these years. I'm not trying to have that. It's like I've seen two other people that carry on like that with me, and I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to have it where there's like a whole army of stalkers just surrounding me and stuff. But man, it is so weird. I'm like, I'm gonna get to the stalker stuff in a moment, but no, so overall though, like how this whole situation started was so I seen a tweet where somebody was like, oh, TMossBoss sexually harass and bullies people. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know where you came up with that claim, but I acknowledged it. I talked about it and I was all like, I don't know what this guy is talking about. The bullying people, yeah, I guess you can say that I bullied some people in just the robots fan base, but the sexual harassment claim, I'm like, where does that come from? I'm like, I think you must got me confused with just a robot. He's bullied people. He's actually went out his way to bully people. He's actually went out his way to sexually harass people. Me, on the other hand, you watch my reaction videos, you watch all this other content that I do, and that's what you picked up off of it. But not even that, though. It's like, where overall like did this stuff happen? Like where who was involved? Like who are your witnesses? Like who can vouch and say that I did the things that you're accusing me of? But I feel like I'll say that, and then there'll be people that'll jump up out the woodworks and be like, oh, I don't like TMossBoss. I've lied on his name before. Let's just go ahead and lie on his name again. So the thing is this though, with those claims, I'm gonna just say it right now. I don't be going out my way bullying people. Not like how Just a Robot has. For those that don't know who he is, look his name up. Sexually harassing people. Again, have not done that. You got me confused with Just a Robot. He's done that stuff. There is actual evidence on him doing that stuff. My thing is this, the funny thing, when you look up my name, you're just going to see my videos. Yeah, you might see some Just a Robot videos. You might see some other videos that people have made on me where they just overall have this like weird hatred towards me and stuff. But you'll never see a video of like, oh, I'm a TMossBoss victim, or I'm this or I'm that. And I'm like, I don't be talking with people like that. That's one thing that I've always have made it clear with the situation with Just a Robot, is that I have tried to separate myself from him and his fan base for years. But it just seems like that his fan base, they're like, no, we're upset that Just a Robot's going through his downfall, so therefore you have to go through your downfall. I don't want to go through no downfall with you guys. I'm like, my thing is this: if I'm going through my downfall, it's going to be on my own terms. It's going to be something that I'm like, yes, I actually did that. But and I know people are probably thinking along the lines too, like, I see tweets like this, and yeah, so this was one of the latest tweets that he's made about me, and I'm like, who is this 15-year-old, or yeah, 15-year-old girls? I'm like, what are you talking about? But then he goes on to say, and making fun of people's deaths. So so yeah, the video that he's showing or screenshot was of so I think I've said I told this story before. I don't know if I told it on this channel, but I think I have, but it was some time ago. But I was almost featured in an ABC documentary about that Ocean Gate submarine that sank through. Was it like 2 years ago? And there was a comedy skit that they wanted to involve in there, and I'm like, I don't know what part of that documentary where that's going to be fitting, but yeah, sure. I'd signed like a document thing, and then yeah, they was all like, all right, cool. We'll contact you and let you know if we when I guess they do it. Turns out they did, and I guess like they wanted to trim it down, and my part ended up getting taken out. So I'm like, dang, man. I was like, I was almost like, I was so hyped. I'm telling friends and family, I'm like, bro, I'm about to be in an ABC documentary. Like, I am going to be on TV. I'm still waiting for my moment to be on TV. But anyways, so if you guys watch the video that they wanted to use, so yeah, because I remember when that submarine situation had happened, and that was the number one thing that was trending around it, was that the guy was using a Logitech controller. A controller, in my opinion, it's not a good controller. I'm like, I haven't used it, but just looking at some of the reviews before people flooded them with Ocean Gate memes and jokes and stuff. Yeah, that controller didn't have good reviews. And I'm thinking to myself, why would you use, where my thing is this, right? I'm not no millionaire, but I can afford nice things, all right? This controller right here, this is a PlayStation Edge controller. This controller costs $200. That's just one of the controllers that I have. I have this, whoa, I almost dropped it. I have this SCUF controller. It's for my like when I'm playing PC games. This controller, I think it was like $120. And then I think my Xbox SCUF controller, this was, I think it was like maybe it was over $100. But like all three of those controllers, over $100. The controller that the guy was using for that submarine, this is a millionaire, mind you, all right? This is somebody that got way more money than I do. He's using, I think it was like a $30 or $40 Logitech controller. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, and no, I remember that was one of the reviews that I seen for that controller, was that it loses connection after just standing 3 feet away from, I think the person was using it either on their Xbox or on their PC. I can't remember, but yeah, he's whoever the reviewer was, they said that it would lose connection after you stood like 3 feet away from it. So I'm supposed to trust this controller with my life as I am going deep into the bottom of the ocean to look at a ship that sank over 100 years ago, and I'm supposed to just be okay with that. No, I wouldn't be, and nobody would be okay with that. My thing is this, if I'm like looking around, I'm like, oh, this is a nice submarine, then all of a sudden I just hear this, I look over, and the guy, he's like, you think he's like playing Mortal Kombat or something, like doing this. I'm like, yeah, that's weird. I'm like, I guess it's Ocean Gate Part 2. I'm like, dang, I should have known. I was like, it was just too good to be true, man. I'm like, I can see why that friend gave me them tickets. They didn't trust this guy. They watched the videos. They seen what he was about. So yeah, it's just, but overall though, so that's what the meme like, or the meme that I had created on TikTok. So anyways, it's of me, like, just sitting there doing this with my controller. And then at some point, I look at my controller and I'm realizing, oh, dang, the controller is off. So I'm acting like I'm the dude in the Ocean Gate submarine. So then I turned and looked at everybody. I was like, hey, look, the controller just died and stuff. And then that was it. That was the joke. How at any given point in time in that meme did I make fun of somebody's death? That's what I would like to know. I wasn't like, oh, haha, they all imploded and died in that submarine. When did I say that in that video? See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's one thing about Just the Robot and his fan base, is that they like to twist things up. They like to misuse things. They're actually the ones that do want to take things out of context and then not give you like the full story and stuff. They only want to tell the part of the story where it's gonna make me out as a bad guy and things. So that's why I'm like, yeah, the thing is this, you guys, the video is still up. I think I even have it on YouTube. If you guys just want to go real quick, check out one of my shorts. I can't remember what I titled the video, but TikTok does have a way of where you can look at your most viewed videos on a person's, or most viewed video on a person's account. And yeah, you can find it, I think, like, yeah, through that, because it was at one point in time one of my most viewed videos and stuff. So, but yeah, that's what I would like to know. At what point in time in that video did I make fun of a person's death? Like you pinpoint the exact time, the exact second of that video where I made fun of somebody's death. Because all I was just doing is making fun of the idea that the guy thought it would be a smart idea to use a controller to control a submarine. Now, maybe that is something that they do. That's something that I wouldn't do. I'm like, no, I'm like, whatever submersible that James Cameron used when he was doing the Titanic movie, I want to build a replica of that. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they ain't had no Logitech controllers that you could buy off of Amazon for $30, $40 back in what was it, 1990? When he do that movie, I know the movie came out in 1997, but I don't know when exactly, like the production and all that stuff. Anyways, regardless, I'm like, yeah, there wasn't no Logitech controllers being used for no submarines back in the 90s. So I'm like, I'm not gonna build like a 90s submarine, but at the same time, I am going to build a submarine of high quality, and I'm not using no $30 controller. But anyways, now that been pushed to the side, I've talked on that. Let's talk on this, sexual harassment claims. Where did that come from? Where exactly was that being discussed or talked about? Because that's one thing where I'm like, I hear that and I'm like, fam, where did this come from? Like, the thing is this. I start pointing out patterns with just a robot and his weird behavior towards people, and somehow, some way, it gets flipped back on me that I'm the one that's doing it. And the thing is this, like, I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again. I don't talk with people like that on social media. And my thing is that and you know what, I feel like that this is something that I don't really talk about, because I'm like, I don't be putting myself in that situation. But if I see that there's an account that's a person is like underage, I'm like, okay, if we're like have like mutual friends and we just be playing the game, that's as far as it's gonna go. Me and that individual playing the game. As far as like private, there was actually a time I remember where this guy, and he wasn't even saying it to me, but it was some kid that was in this it was like a organization that I was a part of. Not whatchamacallit, Nuke. It was because I know people gonna probably be all like, wait a minute, Nuke had like, no, it wasn't Nuke. It was an organization before Nuke. But like, yeah, Nuke ain't, for those that don't know, Nuke, it's not really a thing anymore. So if you guys have noticed, I took it out my Twitter account and all that stuff. Yeah, it's I think they just decided to close up shop. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but anyways. But no, there was an organization I was a part of before Nuke where, yeah, it was a kid that was in there cracking inappropriate jokes, and I'm like, I don't know about this. I'm like, this don't seem right. I'm like, I'm getting a gut feeling where it's just, no. I'm like, I don't know about that. I'm like, I ain't gonna add on to it. So I left the organization. I'm like, okay, well, I see what this organization is. And I'm like, I just feel like that there should have been some sort of like moderation in the organization and stuff. Like, I mean, having it where a kid, he's cracking an inappropriate joke, and I'm like, bruh, like, there's adults here. Like, what is this kid doing here? I feel like that, like, yeah, it just seemed like one of those situations where a kid could get taken advantage of. And I'm not trying to be a part of no organization like that. I'm saying, if you allow stuff like that, then I'm like, what else are you going to allow? So I left that organization. I'm like, nah, that's not an I can't even think of the name of it and stuff. But anyways, but yeah, overall, I was like, I don't want no parts of it. I'm like, you guys do your thing. I'm gonna do my thing. All right. And then, yeah, then shortly afterwards, that's when I discovered Nuke and then was a part of them. And they were all cool and stuff. But anyways, but yeah, from that to like, if a kid messages me on social media, like, my thing is this: if it's a normal conversation, cool, but I know people are like, what would you count as a normal conversation? Stuff about content creating. So it's like, if they see me do a reaction to Grand Theft Auto 6 and they're all like, oh man, like Grand Theft Auto 6 look like it's gonna be crazy, I'm like, yeah, the other Grand Theft Auto games, they were crazy too. And I'm like, but yeah, that's as far as the conversation is gonna go. It's just gonna be about video games. If they start having inappropriate, like, oh, I wonder if you're gonna be able to, like, take the prostitutes to an alley or go to a strip club and stuff, like, I'm like, why are you like telling me this? I'm like, why does that feel like that needs to be a conversation? That's the thing about me, is that I don't mind shutting. If a conversation is making me feel uncomfortable, that goes for a kid or an adult. I'm like, hey, look, we gonna have to shut that down. I'm like, cut it right there. Conversation don't need to go on no more. What my thing is this: if I could say that, then, I guess switching gears back to, I ain't really trying to point fingers, but at the same time, mention the person that this fan yeah, where it's like the individual came from, that fan base, just the robot, why can he not say the same things? You know, why does it always have to be, oh, well, my autism ain't really paying attention to their age. Oh, my dyslexia, I thought they said they were 51, not 15. I'm like, that, yeah, see, that's the thing where I'm all like, you know, it's people like him where it's like, yeah, I guess he don't overall mind stuff like that. He don't mind having inappropriate conversations with minors and stuff. It's like, it's just, as long as it just doesn't get out in the public, you know, because you guys sit down and think about it. It's like, what conversations is this kid having with just a robot? You know, what conversation is just a robot having with other kids where it's like they're not, probably, yeah, not at the moment they're gonna talk about it, but probably sometime down the road they'll talk about it. Just a robot just thinks, oh, I'm in the clear, they're gone, either gone from the internet or they're a fan of me, so they're never gonna talk about it and stuff. But yeah, overall it's like, fam, again, you got me confused with just a robot. He does that stuff. Me, on the other hand, I'm like, look, I want to be, my thing is this, right? If you guys pay attention to me as a content creator, I don't really collaborate with people that much. All right. When I play the game, I don't talk with people that much. Messages, I'm like, as far as I'll do is, yeah, you know, like those like friend post things that they're all like, oh, you're the greatest friend ever or something like that. I might send that to a friend or two. But I'm like, other than that, I don't be talking with people. I'm like, my thing is this: social media, I've said this before, social media to me right now is really just a place where I could just broadcast myself as a content creator. Why would I put myself in this situation? Just, and the thing is this: the amount of times where I've talked on like situations like this where it be an adult talking to a minor, and I'm like, you guys haven't learned from all these other past previous cases that didn't happen since we were kids. Why? My thing is this: why would I say stuff like that? That's how I know whoever this individual is doesn't watch my videos. You know, I'm gonna get to the stalker stuff here in a moment, like just real quick. But my thing is this though: why would I go and talk about stuff like that? Why would I say, like, you know, people haven't learned from past previous situations and then turn around and do it myself? What sense does that make? All right. But my thing is this though. This is the one tweet that they made, and I'm like, this individual is weird. So they tweet a random. The funny thing is, because yeah, so they tweeted this out yesterday. Yesterday was like mad sunny outside. There was no areas of Washington that was gloomy. You could go to Seattle, you could go to Tacoma, you could go any and everywhere throughout Washington. Washington was mad sunny yesterday. This looks like it's like cloudy and stuff, but it's like it is sunny outside. But no, I'm saying like the sun is shining. Like, you can, that's the one thing about me, about living out in Washington. I'm a cloud expert. I can tell when it's cloudy outside. It's cloudy outside. You could just look at the sidewalk. It ain't got like that sun look to it and stuff. It just looks like, yo, yeah, the sun is like shining through a cloud and things. But yeah, it's like it's just it's too like grayish, whitish looking outside and stuff, you know. But anyways, they took a picture of a random street wherever they are in the world. It was like, I'm on I'm on my way to your house. Let's talk like adults. For one, you're not an adult, all right? I can tell by how you tweet you're not an adult, all right? You're out here tweeting to Mr. Beast talking about, oh, Mr. Beast, give me some Beast Burgers. If you're an adult, you go out and get a job and buy you a Beast Burger. So that's how I know, unless you're one of those adults that can't take care of yourself. But my thing is this: if that's the case, then why are you even out and about in the public? Because I'm like, nah, you need to be locked up in an insane asylum. I'm like, the way that you're carrying on. But the beginning part of the tweet, though, why are you, if let's just say this was the street to my house, why are you heading to my house? Do you know, the question is, I feel like that needs to be asked, is what have I done to you personally? You know, because that's the one thing where it's like, you know, if this is about just a robot, he is a grown man. He can fight his own battles. Why are you fighting his battles? Why are you taking it to a level where you can literally get charged for this type of stuff? Like, I don't, because the thing is this: there's been a fan of mine that's been talking with him, and shout out to that individual. But anyways, but he's trying to like explain it to him, like, fam, the stuff that you're doing, like, that's not normal, you know. And it's just going in one ear and out the other. Maybe if I do it and, you know, make a video talking about it and stuff. But like I said, this is going to be the last video. So if he ain't picked up nothing from this video, he's just a lost cause. And I'm like, if you find yourself getting arrested one day, hey, don't say I didn't warn you. But anyways, you could get arrested for stuff like this. You could get arrested for, like, stalking, being weird, stuff like that, And that's the thing that don't be clicking in these fans' heads, where it's like, you allow yourself, this is just talking to all just the robot fans, right? Like his current fans, like the ones that's still holding on and stuff. You guys cannot let stuff go. And you put yourself in this hole that the hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And then you're wondering, well, dang, like, how can I just be a normal human being? How could I be so then you find yourself apologizing to all these different people because you couldn't have just been normal from the jump. You're like, no, I just want to be weird. I want to make tweets like this. My thing is this though. So like, and it's like, my thing is that you're so like, if let's say if this tweet you were actually on your way to my house, you don't even know if I have a weapon or not. Like I'm saying, like, because my thing is this: somebody comes to my house and they start talking on some old weird stuff, I'm gonna handle it in a way where you might go to the hospital. I ain't gonna say how I'm gonna handle it, but I think we all got an idea of how that could be handled. Why would you put yourself in a situation like that? I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, it's like, whatever I've done to upset you when it comes down to this content creating stuff, it should never get personal. Never get personal. So that's why I'm like, yeah, to whoever this kid is, one day the funny thing is that he's going to grow up one day and he's going to go through this same exact situation. That's why I'm not mad about it. Because the funny thing is that I see all these different things that people will call me out on, accuse me of and all this. And then they turn around and it happens to them. They get called out for that stuff. They get accused of that stuff. And then there's actual evidence behind it and things. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I just have a feeling though that after this video comes out, he probably is going to make a tweet talking about probably just do the same old dumb stuff. He going to take a picture of this exact street and he going to be like, oh, TMossBoss is heading over to my house right now. He said so in the video. And I'm like, yeah, that's why it's just with people like this, I'm like, nah, there really isn't no getting through to them. Is that, bro? What's this white thing on the? Maybe I don't know. I don't know what this. I'm like paying attention to this white thing. I just noticed that. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe whoever this kid is, he's had to take the tampon out and throw it down on the ground. He's like, no, I'm a man. I'm an adult now. And it's like, yeah, bro. It's just, you're not an adult. That's I seen that last part. And I was all like, yeah, this. I think I would be going to jail for punching a minor in the face. And I'm like, that's something where I'm like, I'm not trying to go down for that, But I'm just saying though, if it gets to that point, I'm like, hey, look, that minor stuff, all out the window. You come to my house acting weird, I would like, no, bro. I'm just going. It's gonna be a situation, and I ain't gonna say what I'm gonna do, but I'm just saying, it's like you put yourself in that environment where you want to start showing up to people's homes. I'm like, it's called breaking and entering or attempted robbery. It's no. It ain't breaking and entering is like when they actually get through to your, but I imagine that whoever this individual is, he would try to do some stuff like that. So then, yeah, then at that point, I have a right to defend myself. No, actually, no, I think it would be okay for me because it would be a stand your ground law. It's like, yeah, you're on my property, it cutting up and stuff. So yeah, it definitely be a situation where I'm all like, hey, bro, I'm like, whatever happens, happens. I'm like, and you can't be upset about it and stuff. So if I swing on you, don't be all like, oh, look, he hit me, and I'm like, yeah, and I'll do it again. I'm like, I don't care about your age. You think my thing is this? You cross that boundary of my property, and you think I'm supposed to just be all like, oh, well, you're a kid. My thing is this: who I am, who I was like years ago when people were trying to get on me because I threatened to sweet chin music a kid in the throat. That I'm still that same individual. So I know people gonna probably be all like, oh, you shouldn't come out and say things like that. People shouldn't make tweets like this. So it's like y'all gonna get on me about stuff. You guys need to get on him about stuff. But if not, but that's the thing though. Like I said, this is the last video. I'm not gonna acknowledge this guy no more. I see what he's trying to do, and he almost got me to a point where I'm all like, oh, I gotta make all these different videos and do all these different things. I'm like, nah, bro. You get in a trilogy series, and that's it. That's all you get in that first video, the video where I was, warning Mr. Beast, and I think that's probably why he did this tweet, because I did that Mr. Beast video. But that upload, I can't remember if I uploaded that Mr. Beast video. I think I did, but I don't. Oh no, yeah, I did. Okay, so, but yeah, I think that's overall why he's upset. He's like, nah, you done ruined my chances of getting a Beast Burger, so now I gotta do stuff. But I'm not worried about that kid. So, anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching. My advice to any and everybody out there on both sides, you know, if there's somebody that upsets you when it comes down to like content creating stuff, don't watch their videos. I'm saying that's one thing that I don't understand is that like you put yourself in an environment where you're watching their videos, you're going to their profiles, you're making yourself actively more and more upset. Why? What do you gain from it? You know, but and then yeah, then I guess talking to somebody that's dealing with somebody like this, you know, best thing that you could do is just block them. You know, it's like I don't know why Twitter has it on some stuff where it's like you can still see things from them even if they're blocked, but yeah, just they block them, you know. I guess like if you don't really, because I know that's like Twitter ain't really like a platform that I care too much about. You know, if I were to delete, I feel like he would just go somewhere else and just start harassing me on there and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just yeah, I just think that there needs to be a little bit more things to go into that. Like you need to take like social media really needs to take stuff like that seriously. And but I don't know. We'll have to, I guess, wait and see. It shouldn't be a situation though where it's like we gotta wait and see. It should just be something is done right then and there and stuff. But yeah, I'm like now I'm like looking at this too, and he has like I think he does have that in his bio still where he's all like trying to live in God's image or something like that. And it's like, bro, yeah, you're you must be praying up to a different God, cause I'm like you ain't praying up to the God that we all know, but. Anyways, yeah, with that being said, I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace.